Hello, everybody. I'll be sharing with you today a story about how I found harmony and balance in an adventurous time in my life. A few years ago, I left a difficult relationship, and I moved out of the house where my partner and I were living, and I went to my friends' homes, and I slept on their couches, and I received so much love from them. I cried in their arms, and I was devastated. They cooked me meals. They let me wallow in my self-pity. And they were there for me. And after about 2 months of this, I decided I wanted to do something that I had dreamed of doing ever since I was a little child, which was going to live in the woods by myself. So in the beginning of September, I put all my belongings in storage, and I went out into the woods. And I found a space where I felt safe. And stick by stick, I built myself a home. So I had a shelter in the woods. And at first, I was terrified. And so I sang Hugh for protection. And sitting in the woods, singing Hugh, I started to feel peace come over me. And as the days passed, I spent my time harvesting wild chestnuts and blackberries and running through the fields. My shelter itself was in a redwood grove in California, and California was in a drought, so the woods were dry and warm. And there were lots of animals around. I used to watch the deer and walk along a creek, just feeling God's love through nature. And as the month went on, I found myself singing Hugh out of gratitude. And one day, I was staring up at the redwood leaves and the silhouette of the trees in the sky, and I just became overcome with this joy and thankful gratitude for the situation that I was in, for the opportunity to be out in the woods and connecting with my heart. And I felt this tingling feeling creeping up through my feet and overwhelm my whole body with love and joy. I was vibrating. And when the feeling got to my chest, I burst out laughing. And I jumped up and started skipping around the woods. I was by myself, so no one saw me. So I was just in this moment of absolute bliss, and I did not want to leave. I wanted to stay there forever. Well, about 3 days later, there was the first rain of the season. And that evening, as I was walking across a log which crossed the creek, this is something I did every single day, where I would go and fill up my dinner pot with water and then go walk back to my shelter and cook dinner. And so as I was walking across the log, I slipped on some moss. It was wet for the first time. And so when I slipped and lost my balance, I had this thought, maybe it's time for me to leave the woods. But I pushed it away, and I went back into my shelter, sat down, and I hung up my sheets to dry and started my fire. And I sat there on my bed, and I asked the Mahanta, my inner guide, Mahanta, is it time for me to go? And that exact moment that I asked, even though there was no wind, the fire leapt up and ignited those sheets that I had hung up to dry. And I had 2 8-foot cotton sheets that were suddenly in flames, and my roof started to burn, and the leaves were flying everywhere, and there were ashes and smoke, and I grabbed a wool blanket and extinguished it as quickly as I could, but I was shaken, and I knew it was time to go. It was clear. So I left right away. And it was nighttime, and I went to my car. I hiked out of the woods with a little backpack, and I slept in my car. And the next morning at 4:30, I was woken by a vibrating sound. It was my cell phone, and I had cell service at my car. And it was a friend. And he said, Laura, I've had a family emergency, and I have to leave the country. Can you please come to my house and stay here for 2 weeks and watch my cats? And I said yes. I was being asked to serve. After I had gone through months of receiving love, it was my turn to give the love that I had and help my friend. Sri Harold says in his book, The Spiritual Life, that giving or outflow serves to balance us in our daily lives. And for me, I had the waking dream of losing my balance on that log. And then I was put into the situation where it was time for me to serve. For me, balance and harmony is about the awareness to know when Spirit is calling on me to give and to receive. And the harmony is about going with the flow and letting go of those emotional attachments to the things that I want so that I can really be there as a vehicle for God's love. So thank you all so much, and I appreciate your love for me.